Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ball Not Court Podcast host Cortez Paul.
Along with my co-host Paul Mack.
I want to thank you folks for tuning in today and listening to the show. Basically, we cover basketball, football, NCAA, or anything that's related to current events with a humorous twist to it, at least. You can follow the podcast at BIOC Podcast at X or Twitter. We're also on Instagram at the same name, BIOC Podcast. You go to our YouTube channel, that's also BIOC Podcast. Our Facebook page is Balls Not Court Podcast. So if you could please just give us a like, shout, comment on any of those, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Balls Not Court Podcast. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Ball Not Court Podcast. Cortez Paul is here, as usual. Mr. Paul Mack. Top of the evening to you, sir. How's it going?
Happy Monday, bud. Start the week off right. Today is my last day off. The work week starts tomorrow, so we were just taking it easy today.
There you go. Well, to me, this is my first day off, so I'm enjoying it. Not so much. I tell you guys I'm in a dynasty league with college football with, some friends and stuff like that. And so my game was up. That's why I had to push the podcast time back a little bit because I had to play our game. This was when this guy was available. And so I got Boise State, and Aston Gently's not going to the NFL. So now I'm in the middle of a rebuild.
Ooh.
And I had to play Ohio State, who's ranked 5th in the nation. Friends in the group like, hey, man, pull up the upset. Dude, they kicked the ball off. He ran it back for 85 yards. I proceed to get whipped 70-0. 70-0. I want to say I for the first time in my life, I felt how it was to be a bottom.
Yikes.
There was no quit option. I literally just took it, and I try to run some plays. My quarterback, who's my star quarterback, and just couldn't make anything. I mean, those 5-star recruits was just blissing the hell out of them, and so it's a rough Monday right now, Paul. I got beat 70-0.
Hey, listen. On the other side of that, I don't know if you watch wrestling or not, but the big news coming out of the weekend is after 20 years, John Cena is now a heel. He flipped. He's a bad guy now.
I saw the little video.
That's the big news. The bigger news is like Travis Scott was out there, and it was just super weird because wrestling's supposed to be kind of fake or whatever, and there's like videos of like Travis Scott was like legit punching dude, and it's like, bro, you got to pull those punches, pal. Those are gonna come back. There's gonna be receipts to them, and someone's gonna get them back. But yeah, it's just been funny watching ESPN and all this stuff today, and everybody just talking about John Cena. Me and my friends have been sending memes all day about how just the Make-A-Wish Foundation is going to be in shambles now because now John Cena is the Grim Reaper. There's no more granting wishes to those kids. He's going to be taking their souls.
Wow, the whole "you can't see me," huh?
That's right.
See him now.
See him now, baby.
All right, man. Well, hey, man, let's get to it. Like I said, these podcasts until NBA playoffs is going to come on the horizon. Just a little bit of a recap of what's going on in the NBA and NFL landscape of the world. So imagine this probably won't be long of a show, but we still want to go ahead and touch bases on what is happening around the league, both NBA and NFL. March Madness is coming around the block too, so that be some content that we'll push out.
Yes, sir. Bracketology right around the
exactly.
corner.
Get ready to be talking about that, so for sure. But let's get into it, man. There was a battle of the East Elites. This is the Cavaliers and the Celtics that faced on this past Friday. The score ended up being 123-116. Cleveland Cavaliers won in the Garden. And this was after the Cavs overcame a 22-point deficit in the battle of the East Elites. Paul, what's your thoughts on this game and the drama that happened with this game? Talk to me, man. What's your thoughts?
I just think it's time. I think we start putting some respect on Cleveland. I think these are the kind of wins that, you know, other teams seem to not being able to pull off. Like you know, as a Knicks guy, like I could be the first to tell you, like we can't win these games against Boston, against the top teams in the conference. So, like, to be down 22 early on the road and battle back and, you know, win it by almost double digits. I mean, it was a hell of a turnaround. So, you know, Cleveland, we talked about their efficiency, we talked about their 3-point shooting, we talked about their defense. I mean, you know, they forced more turnovers. You know, they shot 44% from three. You know, they didn't let Boston get too far out. They kind of kept threes under control. I think both teams had shot exactly the same from 3-point line. I think they were both like 17-39, which is crazy. But, you know, just all the other things, like Cleveland out-rebounded them. Cleveland forced more turnovers, more points off turnovers, more second-chance points. Cleveland was just the feistier team, and those are the things that win you these basketball games. Like, I mean, my number one knock on Boston this season has been, you know, they either blow teams out or get blown out. You know, when games get close, they seem to get a little weird. I don't know what it is about them, but this was one of those circumstances where they couldn't pull away. And, you know, just hats off to Cleveland, man.
Yeah, man. So listen, this game started off with a 27-9 start by the Celtics. And as we said about the Boston Celtics, they shoot a lot of threes. They shoot a lot of long-range shots. About half of their shots are long-range shots. Now, I do want to admit the Celtics was missing Kristaps and Drew Holiday. And they started off hot. And Jason Tatum, who became a meme for the wrong reasons, was literally telling the Cavaliers when they was up 27-9, when they went on this ridiculous run in the first quarter, get the F out of here. Get the F out of here. And lo and behold, Cavaliers fans and the NBA Twitter and media brought that meme back up, what he just had or just created just back in the first quarter. But at the end of the day, listen, Jason Tatum still did his job. He still had 46 points, 16 rebounds, and 9 assists. Donovan Mitchell went crazy too, at 41 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. The difference to me that I thought in this game, because I did watch it, it was one of those that I mentioned last week. I said this is a must-watch game to kind of see where the barometer is for Cleveland. Celtics bench, only Pritchard won to score, and he had 6 points. Cavs bench had 33 points. That was led by their new acquisition in DeAndre Hunter, who took off. And
what a pickup, huh?
I absolutely love that pickup for them because if Cavs are going to go where we think they're going to go and have a shot to go to the NBA Finals, he's going to be an important piece of that. He's the one that's going to be guarding Jason Tatum. He's the one that's going to be guarding Jaylen Brown. He's the one that's going to be guarding Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's going to be guarding all these wing players that's in the East. So you need a piece like that. And so him getting very acclimated with the team, it's just been fun to watch. We kind of was big on – they only really had Okoro who can really defend wings. So now you got him and DeAndre Hunter that you can throw at Brown and Tatum. that can throw at Jalen Brunson, that you can throw at Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, all these wings that are pretty much loaded in the East. There's some times you Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, you got to guard them too. You get the first round series matchup with this potentially. So you just got enough defensive talent and you add this type of player. Just impressive. So, but shout out to the Cavs. They did what they supposed to do. They won, and they're currently on the 10-game winning streak. They're the hottest team right now. And they're the first team to clinch a postseason spot. 50 wins. So Cavs are really rolling right now. And it is fun to see where this team can go. All right, so the next game we're going to talk about, the Battle of LA. This was a game that happened yesterday, Sunday. This was the Lakers and the Clippers. Lakers defeated the Clippers 108-102. And Lakers right now are currently second in the West. Thoughts on the Laker position? Mm-hmm. Thought about this game? What are you seeing from the Lakers right now?
Luka Doncic, just the impact that a Luka has, what it's done for LeBron James, what it seems to do for everybody else on that team, because they're still incredibly undersized, and they're still just pulling out these wins and just showing up, and it's just a great pickup in Dorian Finney-Smith. He's been huge. Jackson Hayes had a couple decent games recently, but they seem to be getting healthy. Dalton Connect showed up yesterday, which was huge, 19 points for him. You're getting 9 from Gabe Vincent, 11 from Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, that's the key, is those guys, and that's LeBron and Luka and these guys being able to get them the ball. Luka being able to drive and kick, drive and dish. Obviously, Luka gets you 29, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. That's just a day's work for Luka. But JJ Redick, if it's weird, because if Cleveland wasn't having the season they're having, is JJ Redick coach of the year right now? You know what I mean? With what he's done with that team, maybe not, just because they made some blockbuster trades and it is what it is. I mean, I know their expectations are always decently high. They are the Lakers, but to be number 2 out west with that roster is crazy work. Now it's not 50-10 like Cleveland, where you're just running away with the Eastern Conference, but being second in the West when most people thought you were going to be a play-in team early on in the season when you had Anthony Davis, it's impressive. And just the way JJ's managing that team, and now with all these new additions and stuff like that, I mean, they got some really good depth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're running 9, 10 guys a night. I mean, they're keeping LeBron and Luka fresh. It's just, you can't say enough about JJ Redick throughout this season, first year as a head coach, with this role, with this position. Spotlights on him. Just it looks great, but we just got to see what the Lakers can do with it. How is this gonna look in a 7-game series in the postseason, depending on who they have to match up against. That's the bigger question.
Yeah, man. Lakers, as you mentioned about their size, I thought for sure rebound was going to be a problem with them. They don't have too much of the size on the front line, and even last night, the rebounds were pretty even this game. And this is a Clippers team that got Zubac on it. That is a rebound machine. They got, Harden can rebound. You got Kawhi can rebound. Like Kawhi and Zubac had 10 rebounds, versus the Lakers attack. Hayes had 7. Jackson Hayes, that is. Jared Vanderbilt had 9. Doncic had 6 rebounds, as you mentioned, rebounds he had. So this seemed like a mentality type of deal with the rebounds. Lakers do have size at the guard position, the wing position, but it's just a big man, so enough for him to get rebounds. Lakers are shooting the long ball pretty well too. At least this last game they did. 42% compared to the Clippers, and it was still a ball game. You know, they ducked a 33-point, 10 rebound night and 56% shooting from Kawhi. But the Lakers, like I said, sit second in the West. They're ahead of Nuggets. They're ahead of Memphis. They're ahead of the Rockets. And this really is between that 2 to 5 spot. They're like 2 games out. So that's gonna be a fun matchup to watch between those teams trying to jockey for position. Seems like OKC is going to be, unless something crazy happens here, they're going to be number 1 seed. But man, just the Lakers, for how limited they are with the size, it's been nothing but short impressive, especially in the West for sure. Let's talk about a team that's been disappointing. The Phoenix Suns are reeling right now, man, and there's a lot of noise coming from everywhere with this ball club. What you think about the future or about this team?
Man, the Phoenix Suns are like what happens if you're playing like NBA 2K and you think you're a general manager and you just like think you're going to get all these people on your team and it's going to win you a championship, and you just do whatever you have to do to get these guys on your roster, but like you don't know how contracts work. You just it just looks good. Like my team's a 99 overall, so whatever. But like now you're just like stuck with zero draft capital, guys that don't play well together, you know, contracts that you can't trade because of no trade clauses. You know, you've come out and you've basically said like Devin Booker is our future asset. He's the future of this team. We are not getting rid of Devin Booker. You can't get rid of Bradley Beal because he has probably the worst contract in NBA history. And then, you know, you allegedly are trying to dish Kevin Durant at the trade deadline. You almost send him back to Golden State. That kind of falls through. He's basically saying that he doesn't want to get traded in the middle of the season. He'd rather just ride it out and then figure out where he's going to go in the offseason, which, I mean, commendable. I respect it. I think Kevin Durant is owed that. I don't think at this point, with how Phoenix's season's going, you're going to get anything astronomical that's going to change your season. So why not, you know, just keep Kevin Durant, let him ride it out, and then do what you got to do in the offseason. You know, he's having a great season, which is a shame. I mean, he's shooting almost 40% from three. You know, he's averaging like 28 a game or something like that. Like he's having a season. It's just the rest of the team is so bad, and it's crazy how bad Phoenix is, and just the disconnect of just everything. Because like there was times last year where they looked really good. Obviously, they got rid of Nurkic this year. You know, they already made some moves, but you would think Bradley Beal, Booker, Durant would just offer you something, and Bradley Beal hardly plays. You know, he's on one of those PTO contracts. But when he does play, it's just you have a guy who isn't really making a difference out there, and the fact that you took on his contract from Washington and you just can't do anything with it. Like you just have to live with it. It's like having a really bad employee that you just can't fire for some reason. Like he's just protected by some weird clause in something where it's like, well, you know, he's not really doing anything wrong. He's trying really hard, but you know, we can't let him go. And he's like, okay, whatever. So he comes in and lights the building on fire, and you just can't get rid of him. But that's Bradley Beal, and you know, I feel bad for Devin Booker because, you know, if he's going to be the franchise cornerstone piece for the Phoenix Suns, looking at their roster and their composition, like they're potentially going to be bad for a very long time. And you have to wonder how long someone like Devin Booker would even want to stick around through that. So, sucks to suck.
Yeah, man. So the Suns are 2-8 in their last 10 games. They're sit 11 in the West. A lot of noise going out, as you mentioned, about KD. Was in the midst of trade rumors, but honestly, they was trying to get Jimmy Butler. Matt Ishbia is their owner, and he's been shown the last few years that he's aggressive to pretty much a detriment at a fault. But with him, they're just I admire him trying to be aggressive at times, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. And then you got the noise with Mike Budenholzer telling Devin Booker to tone it down with being vocal, that the coaches should be more vocal and talking and whatnot. So Devin Booker took a shot at that, in a press conference, and they asked him, well, players need to talk more. We need to communicate. We need to be vocal. And apparently enough a shot at Mike Budenholzer, but I just don't get it. You telling your star player who wants to be engaged with this team that is out to play in and still trying to engage the team and the players and the coaches and whatnot, you tell your star player to tone it down? Are you really just trying to run this guy out of town? Is that what we're doing right now? You just going to run him out of town? Doesn't make any sense. So Brad Beal, it's all about Brad Beal. Thanks to the Wizards, who included a no-trade clause in his contract, he can just veto any trade at any time. So when they was ready to ship him off to Miami Heat and try to work out a deal and try to get Jimmy Butler in the Suns uniform, Brad Beal can just be like, nah, I don't feel like going. Yeah, so he can really just veto a trade. And so apparently Kevin Durant, I guess they're going to work on something him in the offseason. So we'll see how that goes. But, this is a Suns team to a Minnesota team that has kind of been struggling as well. They got West on their home floor the night before. They got beat 116-98. And KD just pretty much came out and said, we embarrassed ourselves. So there's just so much noise around this Phoenix Suns team for a team at one point. I know a lot of people thought that they'd at least be in the thick of things, at least with that offensive firepower between Booker and, well, I don't know if we can say Bradley Beal, but when he's engaged sometimes or he's just older. And Kevin Durant, it's just, as you mentioned, they try to put this team together and stick it and put the three decent top tier wings together, but really no point guard, really no center, no bench. And you're really just telling these three guys, go out there and make this work. And then you add Mike Budenholzer, who was the championship coach with the Bucks, and you want him to put this together. So it's just been a whole cluster mess for the Phoenix Suns. All right. Let's talk about our teams. Tell me what you've seen with your Knicks. I know this has been depressing for both of us over the past few weeks talking about our basketball team, but y'all had a good comeback win. Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah, it was a big comeback win. Our season has literally just been like the Karl Anthony Towns meme, just like the oh my god. That's like our season. It's just like we're doing really well. We're beating the teams we're supposed to beat. We get in a big game against a contender. We shit the bed. Drop a couple. We had some injuries. Typical Knicks season. OG doesn't play for a few games. Josh Hart misses a few games. Then Mitchell Robinson's back, which has been huge in the 2 games that he's played. So bright spot there. But again, like we're in a good spot. We're still sitting at 3 in the East. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're in a good spot. You're getting healthy. You just hope that you can do something with the bench or the rotation between now and the postseason. That's really the only Achilles heel to this team, is that just our bench is atrocious and our depth is terrible, and the minutes that our guys are running is going to be something that's going to have effects come the postseason. So we have to figure out where we're going to get the production from. I believe we just signed, Beauchamp, who used to be with the Milwaukee Bucks, to a 2-way deal. Just trying to add some depth, trying to find anything with a pulse that can give us, 8 to 10 minutes a game, just to help rest some of these guys. But, OG's looked really, really good the last couple games. And, just having Mitchell Robinson's energy, I think is gonna really push us going forward here in the short term. And it's just going to be just getting all that other stuff straightened out. But, I mean, it's really hard to just sit here and complain when you're the 3rd seed in the conference. Like, it's like, do I think we could beat the elite teams in the postseason in a 7-game series? Probably not. we haven't showed that we could beat anyone that's better than us. But you never know. I mean, we got Jalen Brunson, we got Karl Anthony Towns. Matchups just depends on maybe who we match up with. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm feeling optimistic.
Gotcha. Well, I try to wear this little sunny shirt today. You know, this is an Orlando Magic shirt, so I'm just trying to create my own kind of environment, my own vibe, my own kind of landscape. You know, create my own vibes and beach, and just make sure that I'm uplifting myself, because the Magic vibes stink right now. They are just beyond horrendous. This 7-game homestand was supposed to be, bounce back, figure it out, and let's make a run and see if we can get to the 6th seed. Now the Pistons are they had a 7-game winning streak. They lost recently, but even with that, they are 9-1 their last 10 games. So no one's catching the Pistons. So at this point, it's really just jockeying for Miami for that 7th spot. Orlando is just going to be in the play-in. I'm just accepting that. It is what it is. But come to find out, after the Cavs stumped us by 40, I was there watching that one live. Curry dropped 56 on us. As cool as it is to watch that live, one of the greatest shooter ever to play this game, just got hot against Orlando, and it took 56 to beat the Magic, because, at that point, like, my 2 stars had a good game. Like, Paolo had 40 and Franz had 27. So, I mean, it wasn't terrible. And usually you get that production from your stars, you usually win. The other guy on the team had 56 points, so he just kind of just blew us out the door. Then the Raptors, well, they started off sluggish. They kind of made a run back, and this ain't on Franz. He had a chance for a game-time layup and missed it. And so they played the Raptors on Tuesday. I already kind of turned that ticket in, so I'm not going. But yeah, man, what's
that like? Like, what is that like? Like, what is it like? Just watching a guy not be able to miss. Like, what is that like? You literally witnessed a game that you will probably remember for the rest of your life. Was the day that potentially the greatest shooter to ever play the game of basketball just literally caught fire and just NBA jammed like your entire team. For how many threes did he make?
12 out of 16.
12? Jesus, man. That's impressive.
Paul, just sitting there and watching that, like I told you, I'm not going to lie, if I was in awe that I'm watching an amazing shoe performance. And once this guy made a 3-4 shot going to halftime and we was up 12, I said, this is over. They're coming back. I said, they're coming back. But this dude was unconscious, man. He literally was in the zone. Everything he looked that he threw up like it was going in. Like, even the misses was, barely misses. And he was just really in the zone. And then it's just annoying because Orlando, of all places, is always a melting pot where everybody moved to. Florida, Central Florida, everybody's here. A bunch of Curry fans in the building. So you heard that game on TV. I feel like we was at a Warriors game, which is depressing. But
like I said, is like that's one of those where like these guys aren't going to be around for much longer, right? Like the Currys, LeBrons, Durants. So it's like, knowing that those guys can do things, like I don't know who in the current NBA can do that. Like I look at outside of like a handful of guys, like who has the potential of like you go into a Magic game and someone just putting 50 on your head. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not a lot of those guys in the league. So like to still see that and experience that, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, no, it was nuts. It was definitely something to see. I went to work the next day, and I had my senior management remind me about, of course, they say, what's up, Mr. 56? And I literally got egged the whole day about Steph Curry legendary game against the Magic. It was not a fun Friday going to work. My phone was blowing up. It was not a fun day, period. I just get reminded that. The SpongeBob meme where he's walking on the beach and he's looking depressed and everybody just laughing, pointing at him when he ripped his pants. That's what I felt. That's what I felt like, yo. Just all day around work with my head. Now it's like I'm in safety meetings, and my boss is like, "Yeah, man, it's all about being the ultimate team player. Sometimes you just get hot, you just know when to go to hot hand. Like Steph Curry did against the Magic, right?" I'm like, So painful, but nonetheless, Orlando need to figure this out, man. They got a road trip. There's Magic Twitter and Magic people are arguing with Paulo's mom. I don't know if that's Paulo's mom's account on Twitter. They're going back and forth with her, and there's a disconnect between them and the coach, and Franz is telling his teammates to cut, bro. The Magic vibes are horrible right now, man. So this road trip.
I've seen like Paulo's stats though, like since the All-Star break, he's averaging like almost 28, 6, and 5.
He's doing
like,
his thing, man.
Like he's not. I mean, he's not. He shooting a little too many threes, but I mean, I doubt that that's the reason you guys are going in the direction. I just think health is just catching up to y'all. I just think it's one of those things. Y'all overachieved so much in the first half of the season that your schedule's gotten harder too.
Yeah, man. And so the end, we got a road trip coming up against the Bucks, the Rockets. I'd be fine out to watch them play the Rockets. Pelicans, T-Wolves, and Cavs. So,
jeez, that's tough.
Not looking forward to this road trip, man.
Orlando. I mean, y'all can get the Pelicans, I think, but that's
really about the only one you can get. The T-Wolves, maybe. Rockets, depends. They go missing threes, but they defend very well. So don't expect Orlando to shoot lights out that game because the Rockets' defense is elite. So yeah,
Timberwolves are healthy now too. They got Julius Randle and DiVincenzo back.
Yeah. So sad time in Orlando. That's why I'm wearing this nice look shirt, button down shirt.
Where are y'all sitting at in the ranks now? Where are y'all at?
We're 8th. We're right behind Miami.
Okay.
So Miami's playing the Wizards right now, so that's probably gonna be a SGN win unless Miami really just ain't focused right now, but they should get a win against the Wizards. So let's go to some football stuff, man. 49ers trade Deebo Samuel to the Commanders for a 5th-round draft pick. Thoughts on the fit there, Paul?
I mean, Deebo's an interesting guy. I mean, I came out last year when Deebo was fighting for a contract and all that stuff, and I said he's kind of a gimmicky player. Like he's not a number one option wide receiver. It just depends on the packages you have and the players you have around him. Like obviously Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, all these guys are going to make you seem a lot better. Your stock's going to be way higher than it probably is. And obviously he dealt with a lot of injuries last year. But he's a guy I think with the team that the Commanders have, I think he could really improve that team. I mean, they really struggled running the ball last year. They didn't have a very dynamic rushing attack. You got Brian Johnson or Brian Robinson, and then you got I think that Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler's not doing a whole lot, and then you have a majority of your rushing attack was Jaden Daniels. So you bring in a Deebo. He gives you that versatile threat of you can line up at the backfield, he can run out, catch passes. He's still good in the slot. He's very physical. It just seems like Washington's trying to build just a real physical team, and a team that's going to try to kind of lay it on their opponents. And what they got for him, like what are you going to do? It was like a 5th-round draft pick. You know what I mean? Like clearly the Niners just didn't want him anymore. So
yeah, I
mean, for what you're giving up to get him, I mean, I guess, but we have to just wait and see what kind of Deebo you get, But I don't think it's a trade that's gonna make them any better than they already were. Obviously, adding an extra wide receiver is huge to go with Terry McLaurin, but time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, man. This is Deebo Samuel, All-Pro. This is a dude threat. All-Pro one time in his career. 6-year career, he had 22 receiving touchdowns, 20 rushing touchdowns. So you add to this deadly combo between him and McLaurin. They do sign back Zach Ertz. He's a pending free agent. So reliable target for Mr. Jaden Daniels. This makes up a great trio. This is the 5th ranked scoring offense last year per
Pro Football Reference. So be interesting to see what pieces they make. Do they sign back Zach Ertz? Do they draft a tight end? Because there are a lot of tight ends available in this draft too that you can get on rookie scale deals for Mr. Jaden Daniels. The running game, as you mentioned, probably needs some work, but I like it. This is something that for a 5th round draft pick, you take that chance. You pay Deebo pretty much right now, just for the time being, until you got to pay Jaden Daniels. So I admire the risk. So we'll see if it pays out for him and see how it works out. So another football, we'll go and talk about Matt Stafford. He decided to return to the Rams. Thought why he would return. Thought this guy was going to be done, but he's coming back. And Sean McVay was very excited and said he really didn't expect him not to be back. So he expected him to be back. So Matt Stafford's coming back. What you think about his return back to the Rams?
I mean, it's kind of bummed because, people were thinking that maybe the Giants would make a move to land Matt Stafford. I love Matt Stafford. I think he's, even at his age now, is still a top 5 quarterback in this league. Maybe like top 10, because a lot of these younger guys are really out there. I mean, it's hard to put them above. I mean, I can name 5. Okay, it's top 10 quarterback in the league, but that's still better. That's still better than anything the Giants have had in the last decade, or at least since Eli Manning's retired. So I mean, there was hope there that maybe they could pull it off, but in typical Giants fashion, nothing happens, and now we have no quarterbacks really under contract going into the draft, and some people are saying that's the best quarterback room we've had in years. So, we'll see what happens. But we need a quarterback. There's some in the draft here, so the draft will be interesting. See what happens. But it's just a typical Giants offseason. Whatever.
Bond with it, yeah. From a standpoint, he still got some left in the tank, obviously. So this is a guy that had nearly 3,800 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, had a 9.3 quarterback rating. So still got some left in the tank. There was 10 assists last year. Gave the Eagles a run for their money in the division playoffs. But, they still was a top 10 passing offense in the league last year. This is with Puka Nacua playing 11 games. Because they had Cooper Kupp, who's not going to be there anymore. Otwell. They also had Conner Williams at running back. So they had a really good offense. So Matt Stafford just comes straight back into that. So why not try to play with Puka, who is emerging probably top 5, top 10, arguably best receiver in the league. See what you can do as long as you can stay healthy. And yeah, man, we'll see how it works out for
now. They're saying that the Giants may have interest in Aaron Rodgers because he's already in New York. So why not?
I know you're not happy about that one.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is still better than any option that's out there. Plus, unless you could land somebody in the draft, but even then, like how transcendent will any of these draft picks be? Some guys are really good in the combine. So there are guys looking really good in the combine. But we'll have to wait and see.
All right. And then the Eagles decide to cut a big name cornerback, Darius Slay. This is my thoughts on here. What team can use his services, and what do you think about Darius Slay? This is probably definitely a cost move right here, but.
I mean, a 34-year-old corner. I'm sure there's a lot of teams that need a corner. I don't know if he's like that lockdown guy anymore. You know what I mean? But he could be a nice nickel. He could be.
That's what I thought. He's a nickel.
So you need a nickel. That could be your guy. Still serviceable. 28 career interceptions. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I mean, if you're a defense and you're looking for a really good nickel corner, I mean, I would take a shot at Darius Slay. He's not going to be an every down corner for me. He's not going to lock up the best guy on the other team like he used to. But big play Slay, 33% of the snaps, maybe. I gotta.
Yeah, man. No, this is a guy that has 28 interceptions for his career. And it's funny, I just mentioned that. I saw Jerry McCoy tweet it out to the GM of the Bucks talking about this guy's available. Go get him. So you already know there's some things to do there. But, at least 2 or 3 more years, at least two at top level performance that this guy can probably give you. And definitely be a nickel or dime back and be able there for the coverages and stuff like that. So kind of help someone mentor. Listen, me as a Broncos fan, I'll take him next to Pastor Tan, Riley Moss, to Denver, that defense that's always young, like a nice little veteran. So won't be mad at Darius Slay coming to Denver. But, yeah, man, it'd be interesting to see where he goes. So he is an equal piece. And this is always a fun time of the year because you see some of these bigger old names due to costs and, well, just pretty much costs. That's pretty much it. Eagles won Super Bowl. He won Super Bowl with them. So now he can go off and,
that's it. That's it.
Man. That's it, man. So, all right. 2 more segments. Who's invited to the barbecue? You can choose what basketball player impressed you. And we'll see where you choose. Who you got?
You know what? Oh, you go first.
I got to watch this guy drop 56 points on the 54% field goal percentage and 63% from 3-point line. I said 12-16. It was actually 12 for 19. Surprised that he missed that. February 7th is declared Steph Curry Day. This dude apparently goes off on that day. He had 2 games where he really go off on February 27th. So, to the NBA schedule makers, please do not schedule Steph Curry to play the Magic on the 27th. Schedule somebody else. Schedule somebody that's good. Play a defensive team that got Curry, because apparently this is the day that he goes off. I don't know what he remembered on February 27th, but apparently it's a good day for Steph Curry. I don't know. Maybe that's his first because he ever got growing up. I don't know, man. But February 27th is a good day for this guy. And I got to watch this guy perform this, and my stars had 67 points combined, and we still couldn't pull it out because this guy went nuclear. He went off. Every shot he threw up, his half-court shot went in. I'm burning up talking about this guy. That's how hot this was, man. I was sitting there and watching this guy just shoot from everywhere. I mean, I was just stunned, just at the same time. But I do recognize greatness. I mean, at some point, even though I'm a fan of my team, the Magic, that I recognize that's greatness happening. So probably a year from now, I will appreciate this game. Right now, I don't. But Steph Curry's invited to the barbecue. So, and give him a shout out. I know he got a winter home in Winter Park. So, you know what? Steph Curry invited me over, man. Him, Aisha, the kids, they're like, yo, Chef Cortez, come cook something for me, bro. I know you're a Magic fan, but come cook something for me, man. So, since he stick the fort in my team and call him done, we're going to go hibachi style for Mr. Steph Curry. Put some teriyaki chicken and some teriyaki steak on the grill. I know probably Aisha like shrimp, so we'll just go with some shrimp, and we'll go hibachi for them. And Curry and his wife seem like a wine type of family. So
100%. So
I bring some white Zinfandel over, and we'll just kind of cheers to you killing the Magic, and hopefully I can recruit you to come to the Magic to shoot for us, because as you know, we're the 30 ranked offense. So you want to do that, come over here and help us out. And we got 2 young stars, so I can convince you while we have some hibachi.
Chef Curry.
Hey. Chef Curry cooking with the pot, boy. I saw that live.
All right. So mine is a gentleman who is looking for a barbecue. My man is always probably looking for the next big place to go grub down. So he's been dealing with a lot of injuries the last few years. He's kind of hasn't lived up to the potential. Some people claim he may be a bust, whatever it is. But Zion Williamson had a little triple double the other day.
Oh, Zion!
Mind you, it was against Phoenix, but hey, Zion had a triple double. 13 of 17, 77% from the field, 27 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. And that's impressive, because if you look at the roster of this New Orleans Pelicans team, getting 11 assists is pretty impressive. because there's not a lot of guys aside from Trey Murphy and CJ McCollum that are going to get you a bucket. So, just shout out Zion. I mean, he's apparently down the lowest weight he's been in his NBA career, I think. I mean, he's getting there. He's figuring it out. He probably won't be in New Orleans for very long. So, whatever. But just good to see Zion putting in 31 minutes. Hard minutes. 17 shots in 31 minutes, 27 points. That's what you want. Because there are glimpses of him just looking straight dominant. And it's just crazy that it doesn't happen all that often. But, we're rooting for him because he could be one of those transcendent talents that can just kind of dominate the game if he can just stay healthy and, stay in shape. So I'm rooting for you, Zion. And come on down to the barbecue. We'll have some ribs, some mac and cheese, some baked beans.
Pork and bean combo, baby. Mac and cheese, pork and bean combo.
There it is. Let them all touch on the plate.
That's right. That's right. Let's go.
It's been a while since somebody deserved the mac and cheese, pork and beans combo. So that's for Zion right there.
Zion seems like he'll appreciate that combo.
Oh yeah. I got a plate big enough.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, man. Good stuff, man. Well, do we have this guy's thanks segment, Paul, or we gonna close this bad boy out?
I think we kind of touched on it last week, but the continuous saga of not necessarily this guy, but this team, Philadelphia 76ers. Now they're saying that they're trying to just shut it down for the whole season, shut Paul George down, shut Joel Embiid down. There are reports trying to get him on just to go into medical retirement. Just literally, like, it's a crazy situation. A team that, when the season started, had so much potential, and we just watched them just Twilight Zone Tower of Terror their way, to the basement of the Eastern Conference standings. As a Knicks fan, I love it, whatever. But it's just a matter of, like, now you're in a situation as a franchise where, people are telling you to shut all your guys down, and, with the moves that you've made and the pieces that you have no capital to, like, get better. Like, you're just kind of stuck with Joel Embiid's stupid monster contract for the next, like, 4 years. That you keep paying him more money every year. Like, as the years go on, he gets more money guaranteed, and he's not playing basketball games. He's not going to play back-to-backs. He's not going to do all this stuff. He can't stay healthy as it is. So you're literally paying this guy $50-60 million a year to play less than half the games every season. Like, you talk about Gary Harris, but my man got a package on him, bro. My man got that real PTO package. my man got all the benefits, dude. He don't even got to play. But you bring in Paul George. He's been disappointing. I saw a meme that said that, Paul George's nickname of PG-13 is very suitable because you need to be over 13 years of age to just see that garbage on TV. So, it's rough, man. And then, poor Tyrese Maxey, who has just really come into his own. He's just kind of stuck there, like it's almost like a Devin Booker situation. Like, he's just stuck. He's still on a rookie contract? Or is he got an extension? He got an extension, right?
He got an extension. Yeah, he got his extension. Yeah, so okay. He's on his next level of contract. So,
right. So he's stuck there for the next however many years, and he's just gonna be part of a rebuild. And then you have to just again worry about now the next 3 or 4 or 5 years when that contract's up. He'll probably bounce, and then you're doing it all over again. So just let this be a cautionary tale to NBA franchises. Don't trust the process. If it's not working, it's not working. And don't give a center giant monstrous contracts because they are going to fall apart. It happens every single time. There is not one center that has made it through their entire career and not fallen apart the way that Joel Embiid has. It happens. They're big dudes taking a lot of contact. The NBA is changing. It's a very fast-paced, physical game. It's not getting any easier on these guys. And, it sucks. But now Joel Embiid's in a position where if you can move him, what is he worth? What do you get for him? And, he's almost better off just retiring because I don't think anybody needs a fragment of Joel Embiid. So just, Philadelphia management, Philadelphia general managers, Philadelphia, y'all stink because you really fumbled a bag thinking that Paul George was going to be the difference. Y'all should have just kept Tobias Harris.
Paul George said he was going to stop podcasting because he was going to lock in and try the championship run. And according to your sources, he's saying that they're going to shut him down. So, or at least they're thinking about it. But yeah, so much for locking in Paul George. So,
that would be the greatest championship run of all time.
Yeah, Philly just in a tough spot, man. Unfortunately, or fortunately for you, I know you don't care about Philly.
Yeah, they just lost to Portland today, so they're doing great.
Wow. So, yeah, so they're in a tough predicament that they are right now, trying to figure out what the future is and what opinion they're gonna get on Joel's and Embiid knee. So, one of those that you're going to have to monitor, and Philly fans has got to be sick everywhere. You won a Super Bowl, but your basketball team, I know y'all probably just is sick to your stomach right now. So, all right, well that does it for us, man.
Baseball's right around the corner, so they'll forget all about basketball here in the next month when the Phillies are taking the field. So they'll be all right.
Oh, there you go. So, all right, well that should do it for us, man. Make sure y'all stay tuned for me and Paul. I think next week might not have a show unless Paul won't find a replacement, but I'll be in Houston. I'll be watching the Magic play the Rockets. So if I know what I know now about the Magic struggles, it'll probably be like, yeah, I'll stay home. But I already bought my tickets and hotels, so it's going to happen. So, but yeah, we'll see where we're at next week. See if anything pops off. But if it's a boring sports week, maybe we'll just pass and be back on the following week. So follow the podcast at BOC Podcast on that. So you can follow me at CP. Mr. Mac, where can I get you at, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm on X at _Paul_Mac. I'm on Instagram at ThePaulMac520. That's where you find me.
Yes, sir. So, of course, as always, you can get us on YouTube. You can look up BOC Podcast. Instagram, BLC Podcast. TikTok is BLC Podcast. Facebook, you can just type in Balls Not Court Podcast there. So make sure you get us where you got it before. iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, whatever you heard before. We're everywhere. Also, tune in to us at Radiate.fm. We are on the Radiate Internet radio station, so we're there playing on Thursday. So please tune in, check us out there and support. As always, we thank you guys for listening to our clips, to the show. Much appreciated. I know me and Paul put in work, so definitely appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to us. So, but speaking for Mr. Paul Mack, this is Cortez Paul. This is the Balls Not Court Podcast. Have a good day, folks.
Peace.